afternoon and welcome to ABC News Ghana. This is ABC Headlines. I am KHADIJAH ISSIFU. Coming up in the headlines, a 6-year-old boy has drowned to death in an open water tank while trying to retrieve a football in Kaswa in the central region. Gold Board CEO calls out the minority in parliament for hypocrisy as the caucus calls for a bipartisan parliamentary ad hoc investigation into the reported $214 million loss incurred by the Bank of Ghana under the Gold for Reserves program. We have these and many more coming up shortly. Do stay tuned. For your time this morning. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at ABC News GH_. Now to the details. A tragic accident has claimed the life of a 6-year-old boy in Kaswa, Walantu, prompting a stern national warning from the Ghana National Fire Service regarding the dangers of uncovered water storage facilities in residential areas. The victim, identified as Godfred Abuaje, reportedly drowned on Monday, December 29, 2025, inside a compound house. The incident has cast a shadow of grief over the Kaswa community as the year draws to a close. According to preliminary reports from the fire investigators, the tragedy began during a simple moment of play. Young Godfred was playing with a ball when it accidentally bounced into an open ground level water storage tank within the compound. In a desperate attempt to retrieve his ball, the child entered the tank. Unable to climb back out or stay afloat, he unfortunately succumbed to the water. The GNFS said in a statement that officers received a distress call at 5:03 p.m. and a specialized rescue team was immediately dispatched, navigating Kaswa's traffic to arrive at the scene within 10 minutes. Despite a swift response with a recovery operation completed by 5:28 p.m., it was too late to save the child. The rescue team recovered Godfred's body from the depth of the tank and handed him over to the Ghana Police Service for preservation and further forensic investigation. The statement, signed by Divisional Officer Grade 2 Abdul Wasiyu Hodu, the Central Regional PRO of the Ghana National Fire Service, contained a passionate plea to property owners and guardians to treat open pits and tanks as lethal hazards. In Parliament, the minority in the House has described the reported $214 million loss incurred by the Bank of Ghana under the Gold for Reserves program as a deliberate design failure rather than the result of market fluctuations. Addressing a press briefing on Monday, the Ofuasi Ayubi MP Kojo Oponkruma said the losses as cited by the International Monetary Fund in its program review exposed deep structural flaws in the current Gold Board-led implementation of the initiative. The ranking member of the Economy and Development Committee said Gold Board is compelled to buy gold from small-scale miners at real global market prices and at exchange rates comparable to those offered by forex bureaus to remain competitive.
To explain to you how these losses are being occasioned. Small-scale miners will not sell unless they are paid true global market prices, even if a slight discount is given to them, and at an exchange rate which the forex bureaus use. Second, the Gold Board therefore has to pay miners at real market value. However, Gold Board then sells the dollars it receives from offshore buyers back to the Bank of Ghana at the BOG or interbank rate, which is a weaker rate. Gold Board protects its books by passing the exchange rate losses directly onto the Bank of Ghana. So this is not a market fluctuation problem. This is a system that is designed to make losses and for the state to bleed, so intermediaries will remain secure and profitable. For those of you who recall, when the Gold Board Act was being passed, we extensively outlined why the regulator should be decoupled from a commercial entity that could do this and make profit. And you recall that we suggested that it would be better to have a limited liability company with capital so that this doesn't happen. This is exactly what has happened now. And so far, $214 million of loss going.
Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament has called for a bipartisan parliamentary ad hoc investigation into the reported $214 million loss incurred by the Bank of Ghana under the Gold for Reserves program, warning that the matter raises serious concerns about accountability, transparency, and environmental governance. Addressing journalists in Accra on Monday, December 29, Ofuasi Ayurbi MP Kojo Nkrumah said the scale of the reported loss demands urgent and uncompromising scrutiny in the interest of the Ghanaian people.
We are demanding the following: a bipartisan parliamentary inquiry into the circumstances under which the Republic of Ghana has lost $214 million, heading to $300 million, to be done here by the Parliament of Ghana on a bipartisan basis, as I mentioned. And we're asking for a parliamentary ad hoc investigative committee with power to subpoena all contracts, licenses, intermediaries, including this Bawa Rock monopoly that this morning we have informed you about. Under this bipartisan inquiry, we will be expecting the Bank of Ghana and the Gold Board to publish the fee structure, the pricing formula, the aggregator selecting criteria, and all foreign exchange arrangements that they have tied to this scheme, which has led to this loss. There are also environmental issues that have to be dealt with. And one of the things we'll be asking for is a suspension of permits in forest reserves and the introduction of serious measures on traceability. Because as at now, we have every reason to believe that state money is being used to buy Galamsey gold. Also, we are expecting the governor of the central bank and the chief executive of the gold board to appear before the committee as other persons who will be invited, and to provide all the information that is required for the Republic to understand in detail what has happened and to put measures in place to ensure that it doesn't happen again. And when
still on this, Chief Executive Officer of Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, has rejected claims that the current government is attempting to equalize losses under Ghana's Gold for Reserves program, describing the accusations from the minority in Parliament as hypocritical and misleading. In a Facebook post on Monday, Mr. Gyamfi pushed back strongly against calls for a parliamentary probe into a reported $214 million loss under the program, insisting that comparisons being drawn by the minority ignore what he called significantly larger losses recorded under the previous administration. Equalizing? Never. No one is equalizing, he wrote, arguing that the facts show improved performance under the current arrangement. Sami Gyamfi said that in 2024, the Bank of Ghana under the New Patriotic Party government purchased just 45 tons of artisanal and small-scale mining gold through aggregators, including the Precious Minerals Marketing Company and Red Sapphire. According to him, gold prices at the time were below $2,800 per ounce, yet the central bank still recorded an audited loss of 4.18 billion Ghana cedis under the ASM gold purchase program. By contrast, he noted that in 2025, under the National Democratic Congress administration, the Bank of Ghana has so far purchased 102 tons of ASM gold, more than double the 2024 volume through PMMC and Gold Board, at a time when gold prices have surged to over $4,400 per ounce. Despite this, he said the reported loss stands at 3.3 billion Ghana cedis, which he stressed remains unaudited and unverified. Chairperson of Parliament's Economic Committee, Erica Ford, says the reported $214 million loss under the Gold for Reserves program should not be classified as a loss, but rather as a transactional cost incurred by the Ghana Gold Board. He made the remarks while addressing concerns raised by the minority in Parliament about the alleged mismanagement of the program. Afo, speaking to journalists on Monday, December 29, emphasized that the Gold Board has yet to officially release its financial statement.
Or the program that is started. What's the essence of it? The essence of it is to stabilize the currency. The currency. So within all these losses that they made, $1 was to 17 cedis. $1 was to 17 Ghana cedis. And then another aim of this program is for price stability. Price stability. What do we see today? Within their time, the inflation was between 54.3% to 23.4%. It ended up with 23.4%. What are we seeing today? Now, what we are seeing today is that with the operations of the Gold Board, which is surviving this economy, has made gains, a lot of gains. Now we can be comfortable to say that $1 is moving around 11 Ghana cedis. And look at inflation, 6.3% as at November. So in conclusion, what I want to say and state is that the $240 million that they are claiming that is a debt that has been incurred by the Gold Board is not true. It's a cost. It's a cost. You know what cost means. You know what losses means. It's a cost. It's not a loss. It has created a lot of impact in the country. So I was expecting the MPP.
Now, away from that, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, has warned the youth against the use of illicit drugs, describing drug abuse as a major threat to health, social life, and the future of young people. According to the minister, while the government has put measures in place to support drug addicts through rehabilitation services, prevention remains the most effective solution. Dr. Amoako-Hene reaffirmed the government's commitment to combating the sale and use of hard drugs and urged young people involved in drug abuse to desist immediately.
Young na energy ni wa na ye try the say kan ye ma emmo ni padua no enu bi titru enemrem red yesu ananke ye kan red means stop anameboa e diga outcome red no nanka uhu a e chese jai enom na stages of addiction no started with experiment ni say when so obi enum bi na opese uhu adekodi etuam unya try obense first time no uhu suye e wa no asa try e be kakra na fedie obese waninye obese oye bibia now the who shame now socially you are becoming dependent on it to function after bedru time be no one no mo na wo ho e yo basabasa na epiepia o se konom e one dey na say you are totally dependent on it in the abuse stage na ye be you prakope free anu a ye free be withdrawal syndrome it mean how one way betima fefe amwa ye weak and all that in the abuse stage na dey na wutra na ye na ijaye na ye den edru ba bi dia na ne completely no wa ba be substance use disorder I tell say what there say edru no anu mo a de be ye me wa your balls nessa nete ubedru any of these stages the here to is always seeking for help is 50% of the solution so wa dia to ma hu say ba bia wa dru pa de e wa say obi e dey e boa so obi so emo a dia nyankopon ya adom ya training psychologists, psychiatrists, medical doctors, nurses omutimi boa na omutimi je free sa eye edunum and no titun na rehab center here dey.
In other stories, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat has raided illegal mining sites in Achimoda, Birim Central Municipality, arresting 5 Chinese nationals for illicit mining along the Birim River. 2 excavators were seized and immobilized, along with a Toyota Hilux and a Toyota Land Cruiser used by the miners. Makeshift structures, water pumps, and other mining equipment were destroyed during the operation on Monday, December 29. NIMOS says it will continue targeting illegal mining along major water bodies during the festive season to curb environmental pollution. In a move to prioritize public safety following a harrowing structural failure, the Ghana West Municipal Assembly has ordered the indefinite closure of the Amasaman China Mall. The directive comes after a section of the massive retail facility collapsed on Sunday, December 28, 2025, sparking chaos among shoppers and staff. The incidents, which occurred during peak holiday shopping hours, resulted in the destruction of significant quantities of inventory and left 2 individuals with varying degrees of injury. Emergency services were quickly on site to transport the victims to a nearby health facility where they are currently undergoing treatment. Following a high-level emergency meeting of the Municipal Security Coordinating Council on Monday, the decision was made to seal off the premises. The Chief Executive of the Ghana West Municipal Assembly, John Desmond Sowanai, led an inspection team to the site to assess magnitude of the damage. The collapse has raised serious questions regarding the construction standards of large-scale retail hubs in the municipality. According to the MCE, early evidence suggests that the structural integrity of the affected wing was compromised, though a full forensic engineering audit is yet to be completed. That's how we wrap up with the headlines this morning. For more news, visit our website at www.abcnewsgh.com and follow us on our socials at abcnewsgh_. ABC in the Morning with Abna Mante comes up next. I am KHADIJAH ISSIFU. Have a nice day.